Hey friends, it's Melanie coming to you from the Outer Banks, North Carolina, and I just wanted to get on here and do a part 2 video of the video, Are We Demonic? And the part 2 is that I had a conversation with the mother of the child who accused our family of being demonic. And my thought process in the whole thing was this child had to get this from somewhere. And I didn't think that she was getting it from the church, and I figured it was the family. And so I spoke to her mom. And apparently there was a conversation had between the mom and her child, and it was along the lines of our family was going to, now that we were new believers, we were going to be shifting out of the new age, and we were going to be shifting out of these old behaviors and that were demonic, and now we're going to be moving into the clean, new believer, Christian way of life. And that might mean that our food choices change and all this stuff. And when I heard that, I was like, you don't know who I am or the journey that I've been on. And I addressed that before, but I said nothing about the way that we eat is demonic. Nothing about how we live is demonic. I said 8 years ago, I was locking myself in a bathroom, taking a butcher knife to my forearm, trying to end my life with my husband locked outside of the bathroom, begging for me not to do that. I said that was demonic. And the anger and the hostility that I held towards my family at that time, those things were demonic. And by changing my diet, that changed a lot of things for our family. And it was a God voice that told me what to do and how to do it. And I've listened to that God voice for these last 8 years. I addressed the concerns about how we choose not to eat animals and we choose not to ride our horse. And she said, well, scripturally, it's biblical that we use animals. God gave us dominion over them. And I said, but he didn't tell us we had to. And she goes, well, I guess you're kind of like doing what the Daniel fast is about. And I was like, what? The Daniel fast? I knew nothing about this. So apparently in the book of Daniel, Daniel and his buddies are like, we're not going to eat the royal king's food anymore. We're going to eat vegetables, fruits, and we'll see who's stronger in the end. And so they're 3 weeks, I think they did this. And it ended up being that Daniel and his men were stronger than the people that ate the regular royal king food. And it was proof that by listening to God, good things could happen from that. I don't fully know the story. I've only started learning about it, but I was very intrigued to find out what the Daniel fast is. And so essentially, the Daniel fast is fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs, plant-based grains, legumes. That's what my family's been doing for 8 years. 8 years. Since 2016, we have been living the Daniel fast. So I found it very ironic that we were being called demonic, or that this lifestyle was demonic. And it's something, I guess, that Daniel did the rest of his life, too. It was something that he adopted as a practice. So with all of that said, I'm glad that I talked to this woman. I did see a comment on the last video that said, leave that church, don't stay, blah, blah, blah. I'm a big believer that God put me in certain places for a reason. And I do believe that God's going to shift me and move me when I'm ready to be moved. And I don't know when that's going to happen. And I've actually listened to a lot of other people that are leaving their churches, and they're really frustrated with the church scene to begin with, because there's so much controversy. There's so much hypocrisy. There's so much lying, cheating, stealing, faking, whatever, amidst all the churches, that people that are being called to Christianity are kind of fed up with it. And I said to a good friend of mine, I was like, I didn't go to church today. And this was yesterday. And he's like, well, you're in church right now. We were out surfing. And he goes, this is the holiest of holy churches. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Because the ocean will teach you things, and it'll teach you the big lessons of life. And the ocean is God. And so it made perfect sense. And the other thing I want to bring up is that you're going to have people in your life that try to pull you down, try to make what you're doing bad, trying to hurt you, or whatever their purpose and journey is with that. They're going to be trying to bring you down for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. There's also angels that show up in your life that bring you up when you need it the most. And so for me, I was really sad yesterday, and I just felt really broken yesterday. And I was just irritated by like what had gone on, what had transpired, that I didn't feel like I wanted to go to church anymore. And I was frustrated that that was happening in the first place. And I get out of the water, and this woman goes, she says it in a British accent. I can't try to do a British accent. And she's young. She's like probably in her 20s. I don't know for sure. And she goes, "Are those your girls? Or no, are those your sisters?" That's what she first said to me. "Are those your sisters?" And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "Are those your little sisters?" And I said, "No, they're my daughters." And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "I'm 39 years old." And she's like, "What?" And I said, "Those are my daughters. They're 11 and 10. And she's like, "Wait, what?" Like, she just had no idea that I looked or I was as old as I looked, I guess. And I'm holding like a giant longboard and probably like all muscular and doing the surf journey. And I started talking with her, and I kind of told her a little bit of our journey and story and how we got to who we are today and the propaganda that makes America so unhealthy, and her journey with food since she's been visiting here, because she's originally from England, lived in Germany, and now is living in Morocco, which I thought was really cool. And I asked her if she knew my friend Yamin over there, and she's like, "There's a lot of Yamins." I was like, "Well, he's out of Rabat and he surfs. So definitely like get in touch with us and let us know if you ever end up meeting." But she took the time to like talk and hang out and listen, and then she's like, "You're a really great mom." And that was before that I ever told her anything that had gone on with like the difficulties and feeling so low and feeling so down. She just brought me up and lifted me up, and I wasn't even like seeking that. I just had this spontaneous conversation with somebody. And so yes, there's going to be people that are trying to bring you down, but there's also going to be people that definitely try to lift you up. And I want to thank you guys that have been trying to lift me up, and you're doing a really good job of it. Sharing these stories isn't easy, and it's uncomfortable sometimes, but I know that God wants me to do that because I do have a voice. I'm not afraid to use it. And I talk honestly and truthfully about the things that are happening to me, because I know that it's not just happening to me, it's happening to other people. And I just want to bring awareness to some of the stuff and talk about it so that others don't feel so alone. So with all that said, I don't think at this time I'm going to leave this church. Our kids really like the friends that they've made there. And I know that I'm a strong enough person, and I'm proud to have found that strength and resiliency on this journey to not allow people's cutting words and unkindness to divert me from my path. Because if I allowed that into my life, I would have quit being vegan like within days of trying it. But I'm a stubborn lady, and I'm going to do what I'm told, and I'm going to keep working for the betterment of myself and my family, so that we're here healthy and well to help share this message with others. And so with all that said, I'm going to peace on out of here. It's dinner time, and then it's go feed Lucky time. And I want to send you all so much peace, so much love, and so many blessings from God. Jesus is King. Jesus has saved me again, and he saved my family. And one last thing about that, and I don't know if I've shared that, maybe I have, but my husband read one book his whole entire life, The Old Man and the Sea. That was the only book, and he like bragged about never reading books. He's now read like 6 books in less than a year, and one of them's the Bible. It's crazy. So Jesus can do amazing miracles in your life, even if it means your husband starts to read books. All right, I want to send you all the peace and love and all the blessings. Adios, my friends. Peace.